Please let me know if you can hear me well. Wonderful. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the VakMap Immersion Info Call. To begin this call, I will lead you through some important logistics of the immersion. VakMap has been developed within a context of one-one mentorship program that was offered by Soundari Ambika, and it required an in-person participation. After its extensive expansion, we have now this incredible opportunity to receive these teachings in an online format. The immersion will include these following offerings and teachings. You will receive your personalized VakMap report. There will be held weekly teachings, meditations, and exercises. And there will be some integration sessions with senior students of Soundari Ambika. Here I would like to highlight that we have structured the calls in such a way that everybody has a chance to participate live. So there will be 2 calls on Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. EST on August 6th and 13th. And then there will be 2 calls on Saturdays on August 23rd and 30th at 11 a.m. EST. And all the calls will be recorded, so you will be able to catch up with the teachings if you are not able to be there live. So nothing to worry about there. And then after each teaching call, there will be an integration call to support the integration and to be able to deepen the understanding. Also, there will be journal prompts and reflection materials, and you will be invited to participate in the private discussion forum. And there will be handouts, and there will be a possibility to download audio recordings of the teachings. It is important to note that there are some prerequisites, and it is important to be familiar with the topics of the courses that are prerequisites. There are 5 of them: Demystifying Tantra, Fractals of Reality, the Renegade Method, which includes any form of the Renegade Method. There is the self-study course that is available at any time, and there are retreats. So if you participated in any of them, that will count. Bliss Meditation and the Heart of Wellness. So once again, all the courses will take over Zoom. They will be recorded, and the teachings will be available, and the contents of the course will be available over 6 months. So with this, it is my pleasure to now invite our beloved teacher, Soundari Ambika.
Welcome. Welcome everybody to this information call. Srimatre Namaha. So I want to give you an introduction to VakMap, and it is an incredible project that I've been working on, and which kind of came to me in a series of meditations. And in hindsight, it was, of course, all of it makes sense. And it has been through some iterations, and now I have an extensive mapping, which is this VakMap. So what is VakMap? So VakMap is built on one foundational insight, that vibration is the essence of creation. And you all know this, that everything that exists, seen and unseen, has a unique vibratory signature. So this is whether it's a star or a planet or a syllable or a cell or each of us. The very reason that each of us is unique is because of a specific configuration of sound, frequency, and form, which then gives, which results in this particular unique way of being of the said star, syllable, cell, or soul. So in the tantric tradition and also in the Vedic tradition, this understanding is not really a saying or poetical or a lyrical understanding. It is really based on very precise um, mathematical configuration of sound. And so it is it is really truly based in physics. And so when you look at the understanding of the primordial sound, it is known as nada or vibration. And this vibration is the actual substrate of existence, as we know from various other modern science kinds of understanding, such as from quantum physics and so on. So from this undifferentiated vibration or nada, there is the arising of structure and intelligence and pattern and life itself. So every thought, every organ, every archetype that we think of, every emotion, what we are here to do, what we should be doing, how we should be, everything emerges from a particular frequency expression. So it is really what your unique vibration is what makes you you. It's not your personality, it's not your preferences or your history. These are surface ripples of this very unique resonance that is you. And this is your vibratory makeup, and it's your internal yantra, so to speak, or your own very own yantric or a mandala form of frequencies that are embedded deep within our conscious and unconscious and subconscious parts within the subtle body, and which are these patterns are activated by your name. So the VakMap is it's basically a mapping of this inner resonance that is based on your name, your given name at birth, or sometimes whatever name you most align with for extended periods of time. And this sound, it aligns with the vibratory resonance of the various psychophysiological functions of the body in the chakras, in the petals of the chakras, the aspects of the Sri chakra, which are in each of us, which goes to the fact that each of us is a Sri chakra or a Sri yantra, and how the subtle pathways of prana and karma determine our life. So this VakMap is not just a profile, it's really a way to understand yourself more clearly, to learn to listen to yourself, to this real frequency of you, and then eventually to come into alignment with this resonance that you are born with, and that you are here to give to the world, what you are here to do, and to what are your unique gifts and strengths, and what really holds you back from being your highest potential. So that is really how VakMap works, where the sound of your name is taken to create this huge, very detailed map of sound, and how that it determines how you perceive yourself, how you perceive the world, and um, what those particular aspects present as in both their light and shadow patterns in your interactions with yourself and in your life, in the bhupura or the playground of your life, as well as in your waking state, in your dream state, and so on. And so it is really a map back to alignment and to harmony within yourself and with everybody else. So it's true that most of us really know some of our karmic patterns already, but here this goes several steps beneath that to uncover or to understand or to see unknown karmic patterns that are in our unconscious and subconscious minds. So you've all heard of this quote from Carl Jung, who said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So this is all about making the unconscious conscious. And as you heard, there are some prerequisites for this immersion, and those include our foundational courses, including the Renegade Method and the meditation course. And that's because the way we approach the information of the VakMap depends on a very solid and stable self-inquiry tool. So if you don't have that, then it's another thing that you download from somewhere, a personality test, which may give you some information, but you really don't know how to work with it. Here, I have created a system of practices, a system that works well together. So the Heart of Wellness works really well with the Renegade Method, and the Renegade Method and Heart of Wellness work really well with the Heart of Wellness practices and lifestyle measures. And all of this is based on the tantric principles of uh, cosmology as well as sound, which is the basis of the tantric cosmology. So that's why you need the Foundations of Tantra or the Demystifying Tantra course. And then Fractals of Reality, which is a study of the Sri Chakra or the Sri Yantra. And this system, VakMap, is based on the premise that each of us is a Sri Chakra. So this is not a theoretical thing. It's not a romantic, sweet way of, feeling good. It really is a mathematical model of the Sri Chakra that is mapped within us. And when we come to an understanding of the Sri Chakra within, we can understand the whole world and this whole universe as the Sri Chakra and the unity between this microcosm and the macrocosm. So it's really important to have a working understanding of the Sri Chakra. Now, one thing that we will not be doing in this immersion is a reading of everybody's VakMap. So what you get is a several page report, which is very, very detailed. So we will not be reading these VakMaps. So I have done these readings and what these mean for an individual person on our one-to-one programs. Here, what I want to do is empower you to interpret the VakMap in a stepwise fashion. So that's why in these 4 classes that we have and the mentor-led sessions, you will really go through your own VakMap to understand and read and interpret these various steps. So this VakMap, I will say, is really the culmination of my life's work, and it is the foundation of what is to come, because this is the first step, and then it leads into, and there is an extensive mapping, as I said earlier, I've done an extensive mapping of these principles, for instance, to the genes, specific disease states, and how we inherit karmic patterns as well as disease states from our ancestors. And how do you understand yoginis? How do you understand matrikas? How do you understand the elemental forces of nature? Everything is embedded in VakMap. So it is a really personal way of understanding yourself and the world, because say I told you about the matrikas, the saptamatrikas, the 7 matrikas. It would be an academic exploration, but then if you understand how the matrikas are functioning in you, then all of a sudden it becomes very personal, right? And then you really develop a relationship with that matrika. You develop a personal connection with these deities and with these yoginis. And then I've developed also very individualized, personalized rituals and yantras, all many steps ahead. But this is the foundation of all of that to come later in the future. So this is the overview of this course, a 1 month course, and it will be intense. I promise you that. It will take a lot of time on your part to really immerse in it and take part in it and enjoy it, because it will be very enjoyable. Nothing is more enjoyable to us than really something that's very personal to us, right? So this is not like some generic map. It's a map of you, which nobody else has. So that's very cool. So I'll stop here and I'll hand it back to my team. And Ranjani or Lavanya, whoever, take it from here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Yes, good. So when I received my VakMap, it's now 1 year and I think 5 months ago, that was a total shift in my life. It really, really kind of changed the whole direction of me. And the way I read it, it was just so, it just said so many deep truths about myself that it was not possible for me to do anything else. And I received it with such there was this longing and there was this kind of shyness to even think that this was true, that this actually was me, that I was here to be some of these things that were highlighted in my map. And still to this day, this is evolving within me. I'm slowly understanding more and more of it. And it has just been an incredible journey. And I'm so deeply thankful for it. And I cannot recommend it enough to anyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Lavanya, and I couldn't agree more. I just wanted to add maybe one thing to what Lavanya shared, which is if I think through to my normal way of doing self-inquiry, and I expect this is fairly similar to other folks, but there can be like a flavor or an element of self-improvement or even like self-critique in there. And over time, QVDG's helped me see how that can actually be really unhelpful. But coming to self-inquiry and kind of expansion with that sense of curiosity might be sometimes easier said than done. And one of the things from working with VakMat is that you can use it to spot a contraction, but it also points you immediately to understanding that there's always an expansionary side and an expansionary potential to all these aspects of my personality and or my residence. And then that points to how you can work with it, how you can kind of go from use any contraction for expansion. And so on the one hand, it's just really cool to receive and it's eerie how accurate it is. But it's actually the aspect of working with it over time that I find is the real power. And like Lavanya, I received the first version last year, so and I still use it on an ongoing basis. So it's a little thing that I wanted to compliment with.
I couldn't agree more with Kirti, especially about the part that it's such a different approach from self-improvement, where a lot is about resentment and self-judgment of my patterns. The VakMap has given me a lot of peace and acceptance because in the context of the darshana in which it is held, it explains that these patterns are not a flaw, but now I see them as a gift of my individuality and of being me in all my fullness. And it has been inspiring and striking for me to see how precise it is. And working with VakMap and the algorithm, the Renegade Method algorithm together, for me, it has been a breakthrough. It has reduced my suffering a lot, and it has strengthened my resolve and my commitment to participate in life more meaningfully at work, in my family, in my community, because I'm able to see these patterns as they arise and work with them holistically without that resentment and kind of self deprecation. So that has been just a great, beautiful, generous gift. I'm excited for everybody now to be able to access it in this format. And I find it's just such a holistic process of stepping more fully into life and into ourselves.
Thank you, Ranjani. And I'm so excited to talk about VakMap because I've recently attended the immersion. And so basically, I have been waiting for something like the VakMap since I have had continuous questions of like, why am I like this? And what should I do about it? And the program details what Amma says, that learn who you are as an individual and then be that person. And that explores the intricate nuances of our patterns in every possible way. So my biggest takeaway has been the opportunity to view my experience from alternative perspectives, realizing that there is definitely more than one side to my story. Surprise, surprise. So this has created, a sense of openness, allowing me to be generous without really superficially or trying hard to be generous. And this generosity, I realized, includes me, most importantly, as the VakMap enables me to be more compassionate towards myself, helping me embrace my frailties with lightness and humor and enjoyment. So honestly, this is a fantastic program of a lifetime and which ultimately guides us towards our highest purpose. But we have to do it through really dedicated practical life work. And I'm really looking forward to the program to hone these more. And with that, we are going to now take questions from the chat.
Yeah, so one of the questions, thank you, everybody. One of the questions is that, is it based only on a name? Because many people can have the same name. And yes, that is true, that many people can have the same name. And so that's why we take the entire birth name. So if you have a middle name and a last name and a first name and all of that, and importantly, the pronunciation of your name, because you can have the same name, but then it can be pronounced differently. And sometimes, occasionally, of course, in the one-on-one program, we do more than just the name. So we do the VakMap, but then I also look at people's astrological chart with Jyotish, and then see what the unique combinations and the way that these things work together. But here, I think this is a very good step and a very good way to understand yourself. And I will go far enough to say that people of the same name may have the same patterns. And that there is a very deep karmic connection with our names and what we are here to embody and to learn and to present to the world. So and the uniqueness actually comes from what you will take away from it. Of course, there are all these patterns, but each pattern can present differently in each of us. And so to understand not just the patterns, but then that's why there is this 4-week immersion rather than just giving you a report, because there are so many ways to look at how a particular thing is acting and coming out and playing in the world. And that is for you to understand about yourself. So two people with the same name will, even though they have the same karmic patterns, will show up differently in the world based on various other things. And so those other things are important in the understanding of this map. So that's all the time we have for now. Let me see. Are there any other questions? Is this leading to us being linked to a Mahavidya? No. No. We are not Mahavidyas. Okay, those are cosmic principles. So I don't subscribe to that particular philosophy of each being a Mahavidya. That's not my way. So no, and it also doesn't do that. So whatever you identify with, whichever name you most identify it with, and sometimes, for instance, you may change your name after marriage, and that, you know, if you've been married long enough, you identify with that name more than your birth name, and that's okay. Then we use that name. Yes, any name will work, a complex or simple, or where it came from. So that it also works. So dinacharya is generally required, and I would really recommend that people follow a dinacharya. Why? Because dinacharya puts you at a very steady baseline to understand differences. Because if your mind and your body are chaotic, you don't understand spikes, because your life is full of spikes, right? So when you have a steady baseline, then when something comes up, you can actually trace it, and your mind slows down and you can trace it from start to finish. When it is chaotic, it's one more thing, one more blip in the grand scheme of things that we can't really place our fingers on. So that's why all my courses do require dinacharya as a prerequisite, especially if you're going to go deep into it as a practice. But I hope that makes sense. How much time will we need for everyday practices? Whatever you want to put in. But there will be study materials, and there will be calls in between the main calls. So you have to take all of that into consideration. But it's how much time do you want to put into understanding yourself? That's the question. So thank you all for being here, and I hope to see at least some of you at the immersion. And I don't know when we are going to do this again. So yeah, so now is a good opportunity. And we don't have a deadline so far, so you can apply, and you can join the immersion anytime. So good to see you, and I'll see you all soon. Srimate Namaha.